Hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome to this session. This session is about the School of Communication. I'm Kara Chen, Associate Dean of School of Communication. I also teach at Advertising and PR program. Today, I would like to welcome you to know more about the School of Communication. And to start with this presentation session, we will show you a 5-minute video about the School of Communication. So let's see the video about our school.
There's this thing called virtual reality. It's starting to see how the metaverse is.
HKBU fact-check service is independent.
Today, we are fortunate to have a super stellar lineup of speakers from different universities.
Our Department of Interactive Media is devoted to educating communication professionals who have a deep understanding of digital technology. Our game design and animation program offer innovative curriculum to empower our students to create top quality content in the form of games, animations, and multimedia applications. Our student skills in communication and technology are highly needed in our society because they can help business, people, and organizations to make best use of digital technology. In our department, the faculty and students will constantly break the ice, engage their prospect, and increase conversations while studying communication and digital technology.
Our department offers the bachelor degree of public relations and advertising with several specialties in strategic communication. Our curriculum embodies a rigorous knowledge foundation and cutting-edge skill sets for contemporary practices of strategic communication. This ensures that our students will always stay ahead of technology transformations in the field of communication.
Media industries around the world are facing huge changes and challenges. Modern technologies and tools such as artificial intelligence, big data, and algorithms are already shaping the gathering, production, distribution of media content. Therefore, our job is to nurture and inspire the next generation of truth-seeking media professionals who dare to tackle the challenges, adapt to the changes, and can produce top-quality multimedia content.
At the School of Communication, teaching and learning are close to our hearts. We have excellent teachers who implemented innovative pedagogies such as blended learning and problem-based learning. Colleagues attended the annual Staff Development Day to share excellent practices in teaching pedagogy.
In the years to come, we will continue to promote intellectual enrichment, critical thinking, industry preparedness, and service to the larger community. We take great pride in our visions for future development and our ability to fulfill them.
Isn't it exciting? I think all of you have the feel that you really want to be here next year, the same period of time now. So let me tell you a little bit more about the School of Communication. The School of Communication was founded in 1968. We are the largest communication in Hong Kong, and we have a large number of alumni that help us give our students a lot of learning opportunities. We are very high in ranking in terms of our discipline. In addition to the undergraduate program, we also offered MA program, Master of Philosophy program, and PhD program. In our School of Communication, we have 3 majors. We have the game design and animation, and we also have journalism, digital media, and public relations and advertising. When you graduate, you can be a well-sorted talent in various disciplines, including you can be a corporate communication officer, you can work on brands and management, you can be a marketing officer. Of course, for journalism students, you can be a reporter and editors. You can also be a social media managers or content creators. For those who are interested to apply for jobs in the civil service, you can also apply for assistant information officers. Our curriculum consists of 128 units, including the school core, university core, general education courses, your major requirement, and free electives. You have seen in the video that we have a lot of different co-curriculum activities. We bring students to different parts of the world, learning from the professions overseas. We also, in the local and also overseas companies visits, some of the students will work in the companies as interns. And some of the students participated in course-related research projects. Students also have competitions such as animations and also advertising campaigns and compete with other university students. We have double degree opportunities where some of a very small number of us will be so lucky and so energetic that they want to explore the other opportunities overseas. We have 2 double degree programs, and students can get a bachelor here at HKBU, as well as a bachelor degree at the University of Missouri and also University of Queensland. The game design and animation major is a well-sorted program. They offered comprehensive courses offered not only in our department, but also department from History, Academy of Film, and the Academy of Music. For the journalism and digital media major, there are 2 concentrations, the journalism concentration and data and media communication concentration. For the PR and advertising major, there are also 2 concentrations, the advertising and branding concentrations and the public relations concentrations. We have very close working relationship and professional relationship with industry partners, offering students opportunities in interviewing organizations, preparing publications for them. We have Bloomberg terminals at the university, and the students of the game and animation are participating in the licensing shows. All of you may be interested about how to get in. So first of all, you need to study hard and also prepare well for your examination. And these are our program entrance requirement, including the the grades in the core courses. And for the elective subjects, we have the first elective subjects and the second elective subjects. For the second elective subjects, we count the M1, M2 course, some of the course in the category B, and all the courses in category C. For those who are interested to know more, you can scan the QR code and learn about the details. And some of you may be asking, since communication program relies a lot on the language skills, so you will see that our language skill, we have extra weighting for you to score higher in terms of Chinese, English, and for the game design, we also count the visual arts subject. And we have broad-based admission. Once you get into the program, based on your results and also based on the results of the first year's the course, come 10-15, you will be streamlined into your major. And the game design and animation, it was a program-based admission. So this is the mean score of those students admitted into the program this year. And for non-JUPAS admission, we have these programs are accessible for the non-majors. And there are two programs that you can get directly admitted into our university, our School of Communication program. Either you apply with us with exceptional talents for direct admission, or you are nominated by your school principals to get into our program. So both these admissions, you will be having an interview with us. And for the exceptional talent, you need to show us what kind of talents you have. And for the school nomination direct admission, you will be nominated by your school principal. If you are around near our campus, you are welcome to come to visit us. We are at the CVA building, and this is the schedule for today. So thank you for your attention. We have 3 minutes for Q&A session. It seems that you don't have any questions, so my presentation must be very thorough and clear. So let me just raise some questions that raised before. Some people may ask, do I need to be a Christian in order to get into the Baptist University? Of course, we want to be, but however, we are a public university. We accept students from all religious belief. And so you're welcome to apply with us. You don't need to be a Christian to be applied with us. Some people may also ask about the interview. So the interview will be conducted in the campus. We will invite you to come to us, and also we will ask you about what are your reasons, what are the reasons that you apply with us, and what are your how did you see yourself fit into the School of Communication, and what are the reasons of applying for with a specific major. I have a question about the IB. We have accepted IB students before. We will be based on your IB scores. Thank you for your question. Oh, some of our colleagues are here and our students are here in the building. So I encourage you to come to visit us. And in case you get a question that you can think of, you can also talk with our colleagues and also our students. Oh, the assessment. We use continuous assessment in most of our courses. So we will have projects, quizzes, and midterm examination, papers, and final examination. For some of the skill course, we don't have a final examination. You will be assessed based on your assignments and final course projects. We need to move on. So let me invite my colleague, Dr. Elena, to come and talk about public relations and advertising major.
Okay, Well, thank you, Kara, and thank you everybody for being here today, for your interest in our program. We're very delighted to have such a great turnout. If we could just start with my slides in a little bit. So I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about our PRA program at the communication department over here. And I would like to start off with talking a little bit about our different faculty, because as you can see, we're quite diverse and we have a very interesting representations of scholars and practitioners. So one of the things that we take pride in is the fact that we have this rich local and international experience. And all of my colleagues mostly are scholars and professionals, which I think is very important for our students, because they get this perspective of people who have practiced, but people who are also involved in research and are constantly evolving and practicing. I would also like to emphasize that we have a lot of international recognitions in terms of papers and presentations, as well as competitively selected funding for our research, which of course is something that we take a lot of pride in. And generally, HKBU is a university which is very heavily research based, and that is something that undoubtedly affects the quality of the education for our students as well. Okay, so let me go in and talk a little bit about the PR major. And as Kara already mentioned, there are two main concentrations at the Department of Communication. One is advertising and branding, and the other one is public relations. So advertising and branding mainly focuses on brand management and integrated marketing communications. And students that graduate from that degree can work as brand consultants or creative directors, advertising copywriters, or IMC, integrated marketing communication planners. So there's a lot of options for you, and I'll elaborate a little bit later on in the different courses that you can take. The public relations concentration focuses, just like any public relations study, on the relationship between organization and the different stakeholders, so people who are affected or can affect your organization, as well as managing corporate reputation and corporate social responsibility issues. And students that graduate or claim this type of concentration can work as communication consultant, stakeholder engagement officers, campaign planners, CSR officers, or even crisis managers after getting a little bit of experience, I should say. So the PR major, the way the program is structured, there are 128 courses, and they are divided into school core courses, which are 9, major required courses, 28, concentration required courses, which are 21. So these are specific for the public relations program and for the branding and advertising. They're two different. And then we have electives, which can be major or general electives, which equal to 39, and general education courses, which are 31. So what I would like to emphasize here is that if students are very strategic, if you as students are very strategic with how you select your courses, you can really get a lot of your education in our program. And as I go on through my presentation, you understand exactly what I mean, but there's a lot of freedom with the electives that you choose, and you can claim a minor or even an additional specialization to your concentration. So I think that this makes an excellent opportunity to become more marketable and stand out from the rest of people on the job market. Our department has very close ties with industry, and these are only some of our partners, in fact. And what you might notice here is that there's this connection between, we both have professional associations, such as Public Relations Professionals Association, PRHK, the Public Relations Hong Kong, as well. But we also have an advertising agencies and communication agencies such as Fleischman, Hillard, Edelman, Ogilvy. These are all some of our partners that we work closely in our classes with as well. And there's two main reasons for that. The first one is that we have a lot of professionals who have actually graduated from our program. So we're very proud of our alumni. And the other reason is, of course, that we do have some great students that, these companies would like to work with later on. So that's why this is a very mutually beneficial relationship. And most of the classes that we have are very applied and incorporate close work with these industry partners. So we nurture and create these relationships. What are some of the highlights of our program? Well, I think that the main and the strongest part is that we have an interconnection between conceptual and professional skill courses. So the conceptual courses give students a very thorough understanding of the basics of communication and as well lay out the ground if some of our students would later on like to pursue further studies, which as you see in my presentation, some choose to do. I also think that the conceptual courses are helpful because they encourage critical thinking, and what we would like to teach our students and what we would love our students to know is to make informed decisions about important factors and be very good social, ethical parts and members of society. So this is something that we emphasize, of course, as the core values of our university, school, and department. And the professional skills, of course, give you the applied toolboxes for you to show and work with and have on your CV when you are seeking for your jobs. So I think that the interconnection between these two really helps us stand out. And again, if students are very strategic with the courses they take, they can have the perfect balance between the two. Some of the other things I would like to emphasize is that we equip our students with what's called transferable skills. So what does transferable skills mean? This means skills that you can use in different jobs. So even though you might claim a concentration in advertising and branding or in public relations, a lot of the courses are very intertwined and connected. So like you would still be able to apply these into different jobs and be very versatile, which is something that we would really encourage students to be versatile in today's job market. So the data analytics and visualization classes are actually major required classes. So everybody from both the advertising and branding and the public relations concentration will take these. So I think we again give a very good standing ground for the students to then further pursue whatever they would like to, but having this base to start with and work on their transferable skills. So this is an excerpt from the branding and advertising concentration. So again, conceptual and professional skill courses. So the narrative and brand storytelling, brand strategy, communication, creative brand expression, these are all the concentration required courses. Together with content creation and advertising. But you can see that, we do have this balance between the conceptual and the professional skill classes. So you will have an opportunity to connect with both theory and the practice. And what we have found out, and something that we focus in our teaching, is that really connecting the theory and the practice is what makes classes interesting for our students. And it's something we always try to do as much as we can, like how what we are studying actually transfers to the real world. With these classes, with these topics, there's really not much question to doubt that. Here is an example of some of the work that my colleagues have done in their content creation and storytelling class. So there's different types, one day when you become part of the school, you'll know a little bit more about the different types of copywriting, which can be focused on narrative. So like telling a story and visualizing it, or it could be focused on text. So the content creation and storytelling class focuses on how to build brands. And what students do is they analyze different existing brands, but they also get to develop and create their own narrative storytelling. And these are some of the end products, which we are, of course, very proud of the students' creativity, because they always seem to amaze us, especially with their honors projects, I think. This is another example of the class in creative branding expression. And you can see here we're talking about the different types of luxury versus service types of branding. So the focus of this class is on strategic marketing planning and advertising campaigns. So here it's more focusing on the brand itself versus with the previous example, we were focusing on how we use different tools to tell the story of the brand. So, there's a thin line between, but it's very, very important and interesting for our students. And again, these are tangible products, outcomes of the class that they were able to include in their portfolios one day when applying for positions in creative. The public relations concentrations is the second type of concentration we have in our school together with branding and advertising. And these are the corporate social responsibility, strategic issues management, principles and practices of public relations, PR writing. These are some of the concentration required courses, which means that students who choose this concentration will take these courses. Public relations writing is absolutely essential for anybody who's practicing or interested in public relations. And we have seasoned practitioners who have worked for many years and are also scholars as well, teaching these classes. So they're bringing incredible experience and knowledge to our students, which is something that, it takes years to acquire. So we're very thankful and happy to have that. I am personally teaching strategic issues in crisis management. And this is a class that focuses on what organizations say and do when they experience a crisis. And if you think about it, crises are really everywhere around us. So this is a class that's really interesting because students always come in and have a lot of opinions and examples to include in their discussions. Another thing I would like to emphasize is, again, we work conceptual classes with professional skill classes. So the strategic issues and management class, I personally work with Edelman, who are coming in and doing guest lectures for the students and also playing the role of clients who, pose some kind of a challenge or crisis for the students, and they have to solve the problem, as already they are crisis practitioners by the end of the class, because we go over some of the main concepts and ideas in that area. This is again an example of the strategic communication in emerging media trends. It's a class in communication planning that the students have been working on. It's another one of the major required courses. So how do you implement, how do you plan, how do you execute, evaluate a communication campaign? These might seem like some very basic steps, but when you get into the nitty-gritty and the different steps of how do we understand the different stakeholders, whether their communicative needs, how do we target this communication specifically to them, then it becomes challenging, but also very interesting. So again, the reason why I'm showing this example is because it's great to show that we do work with actual clients and we have tangible products for our students and professionals to show. So earlier I said that if you are very strategic with your choose of program and electives, you can also claim certificates of specialization. So these are the three ones that we offer in the Department of Communication Studies. And the first one is employee communication and engagement. And on the right-hand side, you can see the different courses that you can take in order to claim this certificate. So in addition to branding and advertising or PR, you can add and say that you have specialized in PR for public affairs and social impact, for example, or analytics for digital strategic communication. We do have a very interesting class in digital public relations. So some of these classes are in fact required already. So it's not a very big leap to, again, be strategic and choose the ones that work well for you and you find interesting in order to claim this specialization. Again, this is something that helps stand out in front of employers when you have to present yourself and argue for why are you the best person for this job and how you can contribute to the organization. Another thing is that the school and just generally the university is extremely flexible. So you can, again, major in different programs. You can choose your free electives if you want. You can minor in different programs. And these are some of the examples. If you're interested in arts or business, marketing, maybe human resource management, you can have a combination between these different types of classes in order to, again, make yourself more marketable. So already you can think of whether you want to have the concentration, you can have a certificate of specialization, and you can have a minor. So this is extremely flexible and something that I certainly did not have the opportunity to do when I was doing my undergraduate degree in Denmark. So what are some of the career prospects that you can have? I started a little bit talking about this. So you could work in copywriting, digital marketing, social media analytics, internal communications. I'm also teaching a class in internal communication and employee engagement, corporate communication. These are all different types of positions that, we know that our graduates are holding currently. Another thing is that students are actually required to take an internship as part of their studies here, which is, again, an incredible opportunity. And students can choose to do that either in the fall or in the spring semester, where you would be expected to work not more than 2 days, so that you still have time to focus on your studies, of course. Or you could do it if you want more intense and full-time experience, you could do that in the summer. Now, it's not up to students to find these internships themselves. We have internship coordinators who are extremely well connected and have a lot of connections in a lot of different art agencies and companies. So we do assist students with that. Of course, the fact that it's required is also another reason why we do that. But already there, you have your foot into the door when you do an internship somewhere, because this might be an opportunity for you to stay or get to know some people and connect and network, and these are really things that are priceless. So we do require students to take an internship, and we have many opportunities for them. These are the latest numbers that we have from our graduate employment, and as you can see, a very good amount of our students are employed, of our graduates have found a position. I'm very happy as somebody who's in academia to see that people are furthering their studies as well. A significant amount of them do that. And they are able to do so because of these conceptual courses and theoretical background that they have been given in the program. So in terms of the other section, I just want to clarify that this includes students who have also immigrated, students who have not, or not seeking employment, and various other reasons. So it's not to say that the others means they're not employed, right? So they are various other reasons. But I do think that we have a very healthy amount of graduates who found easily placements. This is due to, both the courses and the experience that they've gotten into the program. We also do have a double degree program with 2 universities, University of Queensland and University of Missouri. This is an amazing opportunity as well for students, because you spend 2 years at HKBU and then you spend 2 years abroad. And for the time being at HKBU, what you mainly focus on is taking your GE courses, and then you can really specialize in the other schools within the area that you would like to do. And this is especially for the United States, considering with the tuition fees and the way the system generally works. This is an incredible opportunity that, and as Kara pointed out, a few people get the chance to do, but it's there, and it's available to students. So strongly encourage you to consider us for that. We do have a very big selection of international exchange programs, and generally students are encouraged to go abroad because this enriches their experiences. Usually you can apply for exchange for 1 or 2 semesters, and this happens after you've been 1 full year at university and you've been part of it. There is also different options. Search either through the university or through the department, through the school, I should say, and through the department. But again, we do provide support for students. And I know some of my mentees and some of the students that I work with are in Finland and in Sweden. So, a lot of opportunities. In terms of co-curricular activities, I'm going to go quickly over that. We have the Young Agency, which is one of our really pride and joy over here at the university, at the Department of Communication. The Young Agency next year are celebrating their 50th anniversary, which is something we're extremely proud of. And we're going to have a very nice event to celebrate that with them. So 50 years. The Young Agency, what they do is they're acting as a marketing and PR agency, and they really help us a lot throughout the department, but they also hold what is known the annual advertising strategic communication competition as well, where they again groups of students solve a problem for an organization. So this gives students the experience that they need, and of course it allows them to socialize and be part of the community of the school, which is quite important. Our students are also participating in various competition and student awards, and are actually getting a lot of awards because there's a difference between just participating. So I know for a fact that right now we are submitting some proposals for the Disney Imaginations competition. And we have students who are working with faculty, again, people who are dedicating a lot of time and support to the students in order to enhance their performance, and as well the Public Relations Practitioners Association Awards. This is something that we have been participating in and been awarded with several times. As well, in terms of study tours, we've been to quite a few places before COVID. This year actually was the first study tour back from COVID, I should say. So the students went to Osaka in Japan, and they had a blast. You can see, I think this here is like the newest picture that we have. Over here, the others are a bit dated because we were not able to travel. But we are currently working on maybe a study tour to Malaysia next year, or maybe during the winter, and Australia, maybe Amsterdam. We'll see. There's a lot of opportunities. These are again subsidized to a certain extent by the school and the department. So, opportunities for students. There are a lot of different types of scholarship for students to apply. We have some on the school level, and of course we have some on the department level. In terms of the department, these are mostly focused on service and GPA. But this was actually the last slide of my presentation, so I will open the floor for any questions if there are. I'd be happy to answer those. What's the rental requirements for heavy diploma students? Can I take peer? Okay, this is a reply to Kara, sorry. Okay, so if you maybe need a little bit of time to type in the questions, some of the common questions that we have anticipated might be asked is, what is the difference with marketing and public relations? Okay, so what is the difference between marketing and public relations? Well, public relations is mostly focusing on nurturing, creating, maintaining relationships with different stakeholders. Stakeholders are these people who are managing, who are affecting or can affect the organization. It's one of the most repeated things you will probably hear in the program, and the marketing and the advertising, and focusing more on the creative part and how brands express themselves and how do we engage with and follow and get a little bit more followers in terms of that. Another question that we have, if I apply for direct year 3, can I go on exchange? There's a possibility to do that. Again, we have designed study plans for our students, and we can help and assess them quite a lot with this. So students should never really be in doubt and question to ask when they need to. Okay, so I would like to ask for the assessment method, final exams, projects, daily assessment. Okay, you guys want to know how do we test you? Sure. So basically I can speak for my class, for example, in the classes that I teach, you have continuous assessment. So your performance is based on the different components. So for example, participation, are you discussing, are you asking questions in class? It's based on quizzes. So have you been following up on your readings? Are you, and sometimes the questions in the quizzes might also be to materials and examples that we do in the lectures. There's also final exams in some of the classes, in my classes. These are usually multiple choice and short essay questions. So one is, obviously to test whether the readings have been, you've been keeping up with the readings, but also to see your connection between, if you can make the connection between the different concepts and articulate yourself. It is very important that you're able to, as well, to write very well in English. This is something, of course, for the public relations major is something extremely important. And there are sometimes a lot of presentations that you have to do in class because you need to learn and focus on how do you stand more presentable, how do you work on your public speaking, So we try to incorporate as many different types of assignments and methods as possible in the classes. For example, the final project in the crisis management class is mostly focusing on solving this problem for the communication agency. So that's a fun way to be assessed, I think, because students always have a lot of time, a lot of fun. Okay, so what is the entry requirements for the ID diploma students? It's IB diploma. Okay. Will there be an interview for application for BA communication for the entry into the program? I guess well, for the first year, since we have the broad-based admission, there is no interview. If you're interested into coming into in year 3, we do have interviews for these students because I've done quite a few of them this year because we want to assess the level of the students. You're coming into the 3rd year, so you do have to have some kind of a basic, very actually comprehensive understanding of the public relations or the branding and advertising campaign. So yes, there will be answered. Oh, just one question. If I didn't have any experience or knowledge about media, am I good for doing this? Of course you are. You have to come into the program and learn, and you'll become the best after working with us. So yes, definitely. Do not think that you need the experience. You just have to join us. All right. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Journalism and Digital Media major briefing. I'm Raymond Lee. I'm the head of Journalism Department. Together with me, actually, is Bella Ding.
Yes, I'm Bella Ding. I'm now currently a year 4 student studying international financial journalism.
So today, we're going to jointly give you a presentation introducing the programs of the Journalism Department. But before then, we would like to show you a short video so that you will know better about our programs.
香港浸會大學新聞系歷史悠久，係1968年浸會傳理學系成立時其中一個創系學科。一直以嚟，我哋致力培訓專業嘅傳媒工作者。今日傳統媒體同新媒體百花齊放，政治氣候同經濟環境複雜多變。浸大新聞系緊守崗位，不斷提升課程。 加入更多新元素，令到同學及早裝備自己。數據與媒體傳播專修係由新聞系同計算機科學系強勢合作，訓練學生用新聞頭腦結合人工智能等技術，收集、分析同埋視像化咁表達包括大數據在內嘅各種資訊，將人腦、電腦同新聞3合1，創造更多可能。
要不断的学习新的科技，在網絡上尋找到最有價值的資源，然後更好的和你的讀者相接觸。
喺浸大新聞系，同學除咗學習傳媒理論、科技同埋其他社會學科之外，更加有大量實踐機會。
咁我哋嘅老師其實都喺行內都有豐富嘅經驗，佢哋就會將呢一啲嘅經驗咧帶到課堂上面，同我哋討論一啲嘅新聞同埋案例，鼓勵我哋有自己嘅諗法，出到去採訪啦，亦都可以有自己嘅判斷。
我哋有實習刊物申報人，同學需要落手落腳咁做採訪、編輯、排版同埋發行嘅工作，係一個好好嘅實習機會。而且我哋有好大嘅自由度，可以採訪自己中意嘅題目。
咁申報人亦都俾咗一個好自由、好冇壓力嘅情況下去試做記者啦。當年可以出去同出邊做緊採訪嘅行家一齊有交流啊，去學到究竟真正傳媒運作係點樣呢？咁出到嚟做嘢之後就發現，其實而家傳媒咧係對記者嘅要求係越嚟越多啦。你要識寫，你要識採訪，你要識影啦。睇翻轉頭就係以前喺新聞系學到嘅嘢咧，都係對我好多幫助啦。
It's really the skills and experience I gained studying the international journalism program that got me started on the journalism career. As part of the program, we learned how to write news reports from the very first sentence. We learned how to take photos, make videos, and even to run our own news magazine.
隨住科技嘅進步，傳媒更加分秒必爭。浸大新聞系課程提供多媒體採訪同製作嘅訓練，務求俾學生掌握最新媒體技術。而為咗緊貼業界脈搏，我哋特設新聞工作者訪問學人計劃，俾行內嘅資深記者一個全職進修機會嘅同時，佢哋亦都可以將工作心得傳授俾同學。養兵千日，用在一朝。每個新聞系嘅學生都會獲安排到本地或者海外傳媒機構實習，為未來投身業界打好基礎。立足本地，邁向國際。浸大新聞系定期邀請世界各地嘅資深傳媒工作者到本校，同師生交流經驗同心得。我哋又會定期為學生舉辦各類海外考察，足跡遍佈全球各地。我哋願意為學生走多步，甚至安排同學去到北韓訪問，令到佢哋成為首批到訪當地嘅學生記者。對於兩岸大事，我哋亦都唔會錯過。
我係嘅數字，我係2016年新聞系嘅教生，我而家喺紐約 Bloomberg 工作。我日常嘅生活就係採訪華爾街、全世界最有嘅金融市場。我喺浸會大學最有趣，我覺得最難忘嘅經歷就係我哋去咗北韓一個1星期嘅 study tour， 令我感覺到作為一個記者吸俾一個國際性嘅議題嘅時候，係有好多好有趣、好新鮮嘅經歷。
此外，我哋嘅學生同畢業生亦都屢獲業界殊榮。唔少人亦都攞到獎學金資助，去到海外升學深造。我哋嘅教學同研究團隊亦都不斷與時並進，鑽研學術同社會嘅重要議題，定期舉辦研究成果分享會，令到浸大新聞系嘅學術研究同理論實踐並重。浸大新聞系學士課程分為新聞同數據與媒體傳播2大專修。喺呢啲專修下邊，我哋仲有中文新聞、國際新聞、廣播新聞、財經新聞同綜合組別，為你提供更多選擇。
Media industries around the world are facing huge changes and challenges. Modern technologies and tools such as artificial intelligence, big data, and algorithms are already shaping the gathering, production, distribution of media content. Therefore, our job is to nurture and inspire the next generation of truth-seeking media professionals who dare to tackle the challenges, adapt to the changes, and can produce top-quality multimedia content.
當然，我哋最重視嘅係你嘅聲音。
如果想做呢一行嘅話，就一定要有火啦 ，keep 住把火，我哋先可以繼續喺呢一個社會裏面揾到真相，做到好新聞。
做記者嘅工作係有趣嘅，都學到好多嘢嘅，亦都有值得嘅。
我嘅理想就係希望幫一啲嘅弱勢社群發聲啦，對一啲嘅唔公平嘅事件呢就不平則鳴。
香港係一個最大嘅市場之一啦，所以所有嘢喺香港發生，其實都會影響到全球。正正係咁，我希望將香港發生嘅一啲事情，或者其他人睇唔到嘅事情呢，就報導俾一啲咧國際嘅讀者知道。
你相信自己所相信嘅嘢，然後繼續行落去，呢樣嘢就係我最重要。
新聞工作充滿挑戰，新聞記者責任重大。浸大新聞系用心培育未來傳媒人，為時代把關。
Well, I think that's a quite detailed introduction of the department and also our programs. So now we are going to give you a very brief briefing on the programs. My presentation today actually is called the 6 W's of studying journalism at HKBU. So before I start, perhaps I will ask Bella, do you still remember 6 W's of journalism?
Yeah, definitely. This is what we apply to journalism courses every day, is what, where, when, how, why, and also who.
Excellent. So let's start from the first W, which is why. Because I think some of you may have the question in mind saying that, now in the era of social media, everyone is a journalist. So do we still need professional journalism education? And also, since last year, there's one buzzword coming up. It's called ChatGPT. So in a way, and a lot of people are talking about now even the artificial intelligence, even the robots can do journalism instead of just a human journalist. But then my answer to such question would be, yes, we still need journalism education. We still need a professional journalist who actually got the professional ethics, who also got the fact-checking skills. But more importantly, as mentioned by our motto, the motto of the School of Communication, truth is virtual. So those things are still very much important in nowadays world. But of course, and you may still ask, well, who will be actually suitable to study journalism? Well, I would say if you are very passionate about reporting, about sharing the stories with others, this may be the one for you. And also if you start talking about, well, I love to produce content, especially multimedia content, well, we can offer you the chance to learn those production skills. You say, I really want to have analytical thinking. Again, this is actually the prerequisite for being a good journalist as well. And of course, language skills, that's, as you can imagine, and media workers, they must have excellent language skills as well. And of course, communication skills. So these things, if you are keen to learn, and certainly, and you have, I would say, the good starting point to study journalism. So what are we offering to journalism students at the Department of Journalism? So first of all, you can see we have a first-class, multinational, and experienced teaching and academic staff members. And secondly, of course, we have state-of-art facilities and equipment. And here I will ask Bella, over the last 4 years, which part of the campus facilities you like most?
Well, as a journalist student, I definitely prefer the CVA building. It's the most magnificent building of the campus. And also, within the building, I think JLab is the place where we can make miracles.
Okay, actually, just to let you know, JLab is actually the students who do their practicum classes and doing their kind of content all the time, week in, week out. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, what else? What else are we offering to journalism students? And of course, we believe that the journalism education shouldn't just restrict to the campus, to the classroom. We actually offer lots of opportunities to students and asking them to step out of the campus, to even go out of Hong Kong. So first of all the journalism students are being offered the chance to do the internship in a local media organizations. And also, of course, and as we mentioned earlier, and we have weekly practicum classes as well. So where did you go for your internship?
Well, actually, because I study financial journalism, and I went to a very local financial media called Asian Private Banker. It is a kind of company specialized on the private banking aspect. And I know like most of our classmates, they have been to like really famous companies in Hong Kong and also worldwide, maybe like the Bloomberg, Financial Times, New York Times, CNN, those kind of very big companies. I would say like our school has really abundant resources to provide with students when it comes to their internship.
And also, as I mentioned, the practicum classes. So during the practicum classes, students are asked to produce their own content. So what's your role in the practicum classes?
Actually, I have been through like 3 practicum classes so far. And I think the most unique point of the practicum is that professors are not the dominators there. They are only the facilitators. We students, we are the dominator of the class. We have our own duties, maybe like reporters, editors, deputies, and also chiefs. So we have our responsibility to produce the news. We know the procedures of how to produce the news through this kind of process. That may give us a sense of what the real newsroom are making nowadays.
Very good. And also, of course, as I mentioned, we also invite the professional journalists coming over to the campus and sharing their first-hand experience with students as well. And of course, we organize various reporting trips and also offer the opportunities for the students to do the double degree exchange experience and so on and so on. Well, I know early this year, you've been to somewhere for your reporting trips as well.
Yeah, thank you, Raymond, for mentioning this. Earlier in this May, I made my study trip to London to do the financial reporting. I think it's quite fabulous because this reporting trip is kind of well organized. They are basically divided into 4 parts. First, we do the scenic spots scene of course, because that's a trip, we want to enjoy ourselves. But we also do those kind of academia exploration. We went to the Southampton University in London. We kind of have a deep, in-depth discussion with the students there to see how those kind of British students, how they produce news in London and how they apply those kind of multimedia skills there. And also we do our own reporting because that is the requirement for reporting trip. It's not basically a trip. It's required to produce those kind of news pieces.
Sounds really exciting, interesting, and also productive as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think that's actually what we are trying to do every year for our journalism students. So next is where do our journalism graduates go? You can see some of the pictures here and some of our alumni who actually after graduation become academia, it's kind of like scholar, becoming professional journalist, or even actually become the senior media executives. And also you can notice some of them actually are working in the government to become the political assistants to those senior government officials in Hong Kong as well. So there's a lot of different, I would say, routes and for them to explore after graduation. So it's not just about being a journalist after graduation. Well, how? So how to apply? Well, we show on the screen the program code. Actually, we share the same code with our communication department as well, because actually, after spending 1 year, then you can make the choice between the communication studies and also journalism studies. So also, if you want to apply for our journalism programs, of course, you can, one way, of course, if you are taking the local DSE in Hong Kong, you can through that route. And in addition, of course, you can also through other examination board and say IB, GCSE, or even Gaokao in mainland China as well. So if you want to get more information, and you can scan the QR code here to find out more. And also here is when. So when to apply for our journalism program. I list out quite a few key days for you to remember, but you can see actually the application process already started. So if you are really interested in applying for programs, do hurry up and before being too late. Well, if you need more information, again, and you can take a picture of this information or log on our website, and you're more than welcome to make phone calls, to contact us by email, and to ask for further information. Of course, I do urge you to come over to our CVA building, our campus, and then visit our facilities, the equipment rooms, and then maybe you can have the experience of try those facilities as well. Thank you very much. And if you got any questions, do actually fire with it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So any questions from the audience? I got a question, and someone asking, what's the difference between our journalism program courses and with the programs from other universities or schools? Well, I think generally speaking, our programs is more kind of like emphasizing both on theoretical teaching and and learning, and also I would say practical experiences. As we mentioned earlier, and obviously it's not just about actually studying theories and taking classes in classrooms. We actually try our best to offer lots of practical experiences, and also even go out and to other places to exchange ideas with the professional journalists over there as well, and or even the journalism students in other places as well. So I think that's perhaps one of the advantage we are having here. So any other questions? Okay, if no, and perhaps you can contact us through other ways after the briefing. So thank you again. Thank you very much. Hope to see you later in the campus. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Kaho Yu. I'm the program director for game design and animation. Welcome to the Information Day. Can I show my slides? Okay, so game design and animation. Our curriculum focuses on two major disciplines, as the name suggests, game design and animation. And what we want to prepare for the students is not for them to just adapt to the job market, but what we, because the job market is ever changing and the media landscape is also changing rapidly. So what we want our students to become in the future are creative professionals who can not only adapt to the ever-changing media industry, but also to become their own, to define their own frontiers. And you can see here our 4 years curriculum. In the first 2 years, students will study subjects that are common to both game design and animations. And these subjects range from theories to hands-on practice, and from the arts to science and technology. So after the first 2 years of foundational training, they will choose to pursue either one of the concentrations, either game design or animations. And so if you're interested in making games or VR and interactive experiences, then the game design concentration might suit you. But if you're more interested in telling stories, expressing ideas through moving images, then you might want to pursue the animation concentration. Right, so let's take a look at our facilities.
Our Department of Interactive Media is devoted to educating communication professionals who have a deep understanding of digital technology. Our game design and animation program offer innovative curriculum to empower our students to create top quality content in the form of games, animations, and multimedia applications. Our student skills in communication and technology are highly needed in our society because they can help business, people, and organizations to make best use of digital technology. In our department, the faculty and students will constantly break the ice, engage their prospect, and increase conversations while studying communication and digital technology.
Right, so I hope that this will give you a brief idea of what kind of facilities we have and what kind of equipment that we have here. Next up, international exchange. We have established exchange agreements with other universities in other parts of the world. And we encourage our students to go on exchange because it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. And usually exchange lasts for 1 semester, sometimes 2, with credits transferable back to Hong Kong BU. But sometimes an exchange can take another form too, like what you see here, the video that I'm about to play. It's an exchange, a summer exchange that we had with Teesside University from the UK. They have students that come over here in Hong Kong and spend the summer here to collaborate with our students to create a VR game. And the VR game it's almost done right now. And in November, next month, our students will fly over to the UK to reunite with UK students, and they will show their work, their finished work, at a international animation festival. So let's take a look at.
I definitely think it's sort of an experiment for our university to come here and to collaborate, but it seemed like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to come here and collaborate. The experience that I thought I'd get from it is just invaluable.
It was a great opportunity, a brilliant chance to sort of experience how other people live it, because the other side of the world, there are a lot of things that are similar, but a lot of things that are very different, and getting to see that different perspective, it's really sort of been very eye-opening. But I've gotten to know the girls here, and they're lovely, and so I've gotten to sort of connect with them and learn things from them. It's been brilliant. It's been everything I could have hoped for.
I saw it as a great opportunity to develop my skills, reach out to new people in a new culture that I've never understood before. In the early stages, we spent a lot of time kind of away from the project, kind of trying to understand the culture, but going to these different kind of environments helped us finalize the direction that we wanted to take the project. Go for a straight corridor, we can put little exhibits down it, a bit like a museum.
So as you can see, our project is called Amuse. It's a combination of amusement and museums. We are planning to make
musing museum that is playful and fun. In the museum, we don't want to divide each areas with very obvious walls. For Chen Shaoban Festival, we have some kids dressed up in traditional Chinese mythology characters. Even you are not coming from a Chinese cultural background, when you step into this game, you can feel that this is some culture inspired or influenced by another place.
So our first one is our drawing mechanic. It is one of our key mechanics. Another prototype that we've been developing is our climb mechanic. Our next prototyping that we've been developing is our firework rockets. Our last key function that we needed to include was UI. It's often overlooked, but it's a very important part of game development.
I think it's been phenomenal what we've generated in terms of ideas and what we've started to produce. I just can't wait to see it grow into this completed product and to showcase it in November, I think.
I cannot wait to see it finished. I cannot wait to play it. Because I'm an artist, I haven't been able to sort of test the mechanics yet. I've been letting the technical side work on that. So when it's finished, being able to sort of play it and see how it looks as a finished project, that's going to be so fun.
So this is a project that we are all very excited about. And if you want to experience the game, which is still in progress, you are welcome to come here, go to room 516, and we have set up some computer for you to experience. Right, so industry connections. We emphasize a lot on our connection with the industries, because it's very important for our students to understand what's happening out there and what kind of career prospects they have once they graduate. And in the past, we have organized talks and invited speakers from the industry to tell us what they are doing, what is the latest trends. So in last year, in April, actually not last year, this past April, we organized an industry seminar, and we invited 4 guests to come here and talk to us. So let's take a look at the video and see what this is all about.
今日我哋啱啱完成咗一個industry seminar 啦，我哋邀請咗業界一啲好頂尖嘅講者，同我哋分享究竟遊戲技術同埋動畫製作可以喺業界裏邊係有啲咩發展。講者裏邊咧包括咗 Mike Wong 啦 ，Fat Face Production 嘅 Chief Technology Officer 啦，同我哋分享咗《明日戰記》裏邊嘅一啲製作花絮啦，同埋 AI 人工智能點樣影響緊 Visual Effects 呢個工業啦。咁我哋又揾到 Matthew Chow、Image Animation 嘅一個 Managing Director 啦，喺香港都係數一數二動畫製作嘅公司，同我哋分享咗佢哋未來嘅方向啦，佢哋點樣應用遊戲技術喺動畫製作裏面啦。我哋亦都請到 Meta Objects 啦 ，Meta Objects 係由 Ashley Lee Wong、Andrew Crowley 兩位組成嘅一個 Digital Design Studio 啦。咁佢哋做咗好多 projects 咧，都係同一啲藝術家合作啦。例如係大利用咗 motion capture 嘅技術去做一啲 live performance 啦，佢哋亦都同過好多嘅藝術同文化嘅機構合作啦，做一啲沉浸式嘅體驗啦。最後一位講者，我哋邀請到Henry Chu 啦，朱力恒先生啦，佢有2個身份嘅，一個就係一間 Digital Design Studio Pure and Pillow 嘅創辦人啦，而另一個身份咧就係一個藝術家。佢今日嘅分享咧就係用咗一個藝術家嘅角度同我哋分享佢點樣利用數碼技術，點樣利用編程去創作佢嘅藝術作品。透過呢個講座咧，我哋希望俾到觀眾一個更廣闊嘅視野。原來遊戲設計同動畫係可以應用喺唔同嘅領域，唔單止喺娛樂，原來喺藝術、文化，甚至乎喺一啲你都想像唔到嘅領域都可以應用得到。
So let's talk about admission. Starting from this year, we'll have 2 tracks to apply for our program. You could apply as a JUPAS applicant. You can also apply as a non-JUPAS applicant. And if you're a non-JUPAS applicant, you can either apply to start studying from year 1, or you can start studying from year 3. And so here's the link to the JUPAS website and our Hong Kong BU website, where you can find out more about the application. And here's the minimum requirements for the DSE JUPAS applicants. So I think it's pretty self-explanatory. So I'm going to go to the next slides. We invite students, applicants to come and interview. The purpose of the interview is for us to understand your creativity, your personality, and why you want to apply for our program. So we require applicants to submit two things. One is a letter of intent, and the other is a digital portfolio. So let's take a look at what a letter of intent is all about. So the letter of intent should state clearly why you want to apply, reason you want to apply, and what do you expect to achieve in the future. Okay. And then for the digital portfolio, I think this is the more important part, and I think a lot of people will have questions about. A digital portfolio should only show your best work, only the best work, not everything you have done in the past 10 years, right? Only the best work, and show your best work first, because you want to impress your reviewers in a very short time. So show the best work first. So the best work doesn't have to be the most recent work. It could be any time. It could be a work that you made maybe 2 years ago, but you consider it to be the best. Show it the best. And the portfolio should be in a PDF format, about 8 pages long. I know some people create work that are not static images. Sometimes you create videos, you made a game. You could put links in your portfolio that link to a YouTube or Vimeo or other online video platforms. That's okay too. But make sure that the links are clickable, because I've seen a lot of people putting a link there, but it's not clickable, and it's very inconvenient for our reviewers to go and see your work. So when we interview, you can also bring in other physical objects that you can't show in your digital portfolio, right? So if you've made a sculpture or a game on a mobile phone, you want to show us in a face-to-face interview, that's okay too. That's also welcome. In the interview, let's go back to the portfolio a little bit. The portfolio should not just show your homework or assignments. We actually like to see people, the sketches that you make in your spare time, your personal works that are not driven by classwork, not driven by any assignments, but driven by your own will to create. That's what we want to see. Okay, so that's about the portfolio. I think that's all for my presentation. And if you want to know more about the admissions, you can scan this QR code to go to our webpage to find out more. I think now is time for Q&A. Okay, why should I choose this course over the VTC game design course? Good question. I think what we offer here is a comprehensive. We're not just we're not training students to adapt to the job market. We're hoping that students could have a different view. Excuse me. They will have their own view, and they can define their own frontiers in the industry. They can create something new. So we emphasize not only on hands-on courses, we also emphasize a lot on theories, the history of animation, the history of game design, and how the philosophy behind narrative, can you tell stories in a game, things like that. So we hope that our program is not just preparing students for the job market, but we hope our students could set up their own studios and define their own field in the future. I hope that answered your question. Okay, someone asked, do we have internship opportunity? Yes, we do have internship opportunity. In the past summer, we have students interning at a studio in Indonesia. We have connection with companies in other countries as well. So there is also I think you can find out more information on our career center. There's a list of companies that have agreement with us. Okay, we have a new question. What assignment and project we will be working on when we choose the course? What assignment and project we'll be working on? Not quite sure what this question actually means. Well, there are different kinds of assignments and different kind of projects. Like for theories courses, you may have to, of course, you will have to write papers, do research. And for hands-on courses, depending on what kind of hands-on courses you're taking, we have drawing classes where you go out and draw, and we have other courses on programming where you learn how to code. By the way, every student has to learn how to code, whether you want to do animation or game design in the future. Coding is very important. We emphasize a lot on coding and analytical thinking. So you will study coding in your first year. So other hands-on assignments, like we do animation, so we teach students how to create 3D models, how to build digital assets in 3D software like Maya, Blender, Photoshop, basic digital imaging software. In your final year, you will have to create what we call a honors project, or sometimes called final year project. And it's a 1 year long project that you have to, for animation student, you will have to develop a short animation, about 3 minutes to 6 minutes long. And for game design, you will have to develop a game or an interactive experience. So it could be a VR, it could be an installation, it could be a 2D game, platform game, or it could be a 3D first-person shooting game. It's up to you. Okay, so the other question is, what will be learned in the first 2 years? As you mentioned, third year and fourth year can choose either gaming or animation. Okay, so the first 2 years we'll study something fundamental and common to both disciplines. So programming is one, like I mentioned earlier. The other things that are common to both game design and animations include how do you build digital assets? The process of building digital assets. Digital assets could mean like a digital model, or texture files, or shading. How do you make a character react to lights when it's being lit, right? So these are digital assets. For example, hair and fur on a character. When a character moves, how does it react to the environment? So these are all digital assets that need to be created before you animate or before you put them into a game. So these are common skill sets that we want students to learn. All right, so next question is, you recommend students to join this program from year 1 or year 3 if he is going to finish his VTC game and animation high diploma this academic year? Oh, okay, so thanks to my colleague. So you can only, all right, if you have not finished your high diploma, or if you have not finished your associated degree, you can only apply for year 1 study. However, if you have completed your high diploma or your associated degree, then you can apply to study at the year 3. You can choose, if you have completed, you can choose either year 1 or year 3. Okay. Any more questions? Do we have time? Oh, okay. So I think we can answer one more question. Okay, so here's a question. If I start from year 3, what do you learn? Okay. Now, in the first semester of year 3, like if you remember the slide that I showed you, you have to choose to focus on either in game design or animation. But the first semester is still common. So the first semester you will have to decide. And the first semester, I can't really recall the list of courses from my mind right now, but if you look at the, if you go to our website, there's a list of courses that you can look up. But basically, the first semester of year 3 is still foundational. So you'll learn what I just said earlier, programming and how to create digital assets and basic principles of animation. Now, you have to learn animation even though you're going for game design because, you know, the character has to move, right? So you have to understand a certain theories and principles of animation in order to make a game. So animation theories and principles have to be covered in the first 2 years and the first semester of year 3. And then if you go for game design, then you will study more on game development. You know, how do you use Unreal Engine to develop a game? How do you program a games? You know, how do you create game logic? You know, stuff like that. And if you're going for animation, then you will be more focused on storytelling and creating beautiful images. So lighting in CG lighting, character animation, like how do you perform, how do you act, how do you make a character come to life? You know, these are stuff you will learn if you're going for animation. All right, so there are a lot of questions coming up, so I'll try to answer as quick as possible. So what programming language will students be learning? Okay, well, there are different programming languages that you'll have the chance to learn. But processing is one that we'll use in the first year because it's very easy to pick up. Later on, you may learn how to use Python. Python is a very common programming language in the industry. As you get more advanced, you will learn C and C++. That's more specifically for game development. Okay, so next question. What are the personal characteristics and academic results are necessary for students? Personal characteristics. I don't know. Anyone can apply. We look for creative people. So if you are creative, we like you. All right. All right. If you are a Form 6 student, in what condition can you start year 3? If you're a Form 6, I think you're not allowed to start in year 3. You will have to apply for year 1 because you have not. Yeah, you just never. You don't satisfy our requirements. Yeah, so you have to apply for year 1. Will 2D animation be suitable to put in your? Yeah, of course. Yeah, 2D animation. We're welcome to see 2D animation as well. Okay, all right. I think that's it for my presentation. Thank you everyone for attending. Okay. If you have any questions, visit our website. Thank you.